back to the Brokers Guy in the Room. This is Chris Kushner. This episode is entitled God Laughs When Man Plans. The reason that I chose that title is because the one thing that I've learned about chasing your dreams, and in this case particularly trying to start a business overseas, or I guess trying to start a business in general. But truth be told, when I step back and really analyze it, it's really about trying to pursue any plans that you have. My journey here, I'm still in Bali. I'm still here, extended 3 times now, putting tremendous amounts of pressure on my incredible wife, my incredible team back home, all of my employees. The reality is, I got a real estate construction project happening out here, and it was supposed to be done in January, and it's still not done. But in analyzing what happened as a result of my plans not happening how I planned them, some incredible things went down. Had my plans happened how they were supposed to, I never actually would have written the poem that went viral. I never would have started the show back up. I never would have done any of these things. See, all of that was a result of my plans not working out. Because had my plans worked out, I would have been on a plane back to the U.S. I would have been back in the States for months now. Instead, I stayed here and I chose to, here's my belief, right? When your plans don't work out, in the theory of God laughs when man plans, it's because the universe, and your faith dependent, I respect all faiths. I consider myself multi-spiritual, so I'm gonna say the universe, right? And when your plans don't work out, in my experience, it's because something higher, something divine, is trying to tell you that you're supposed to be looking elsewhere. And recently, I had the incredible experience to go to Anima Retreat Center, which has been the manifestation product of a good friend of mine's manifestation. And he was the reason that I originally stayed on the second trip, turning what was supposed to be a month-long trip into a 3-month trip. He's a shamanic healer, a coach. I would call him more accurately a transformer. He has the ability and the pedigree to understand and to know how to take a human being, break them down to their bare bones, and let their DNA rewind. My experience with him was so strong that even though we didn't perform the ceremonies together, what he taught me how to do was the catalyst to everything that's happened thereafter. And so Sebastian came to Bali with a pedigree and a dream and not a lot of money. Because at least from what I'm assuming, I'm making a lot of assumptions here, but the impression I got is that he spent most of his life savings developing this incredible pedigree. And his goal in life was to be a person who could offer transformations to other human beings. And he wanted to have a retreat center. And so when he came to Bali, he had this in mind that he was going to find it. He was going to find it. He was going to find it. And he went to a temple in Ubud here, which is somewhat of an epicenter of the island. And he ultimately manifested that he would have this retreat center. A couple weeks later, he gets invited to a party. And at that party, he would meet somebody who, without him realizing it, he'd leave a mark on. About a week later, he would get a call from this person, and she tells him that, she knows these 2 people who have this incredible property in the middle of the jungle, and they want to turn it into a retreat center. Sebastian puts together a business plan, pitches them. Next thing you know, he's a 50% shareholder in a place like I'd never seen before. So I went to check the place out while I'm here. He so graciously invited me to come stay for a couple nights. And in that, he also graciously offered to do some work with me, some of the work he does. And so we analyzed everything from my numerology to my Chinese astrology. And a lot of it told the tale of not only what was happening to me right now, but also what I should do looking forward. And essentially, in my case, I was born on the year of the rat, and this is the year of the dragon. The dragon is a friend sign to the rat, which would indicate that this would be a year that I could be successful at something. My numerology would reveal that I need to focus on my voice and my ability to communicate, to uplift people. And what's happened has been essentially a sort of a viral explosion for me from my poetry, leading to this podcast. And of course, all of the poetry, every episode was inspired by the poem that I read at the end of it. And leaning into all this, the ultimate result of it is that I've been pushed to do things that I otherwise would have never dared to do. And each little success led to each greater success. And here I stand. You know, it's remarkable to me to think that right now, today, this human being is living a fantasy. And it was in the not so distant past that my entire life was falling apart. That I was convinced that there was no dreams that I would ever pursue again. That I had become a tragic failure. And yet, some things would happen that would change my perspective on that situation. And that would change my behavior. And that change in behavior would change everything in my life. And as a result, now, I'm doing things I never dreamed of. Perhaps I did in secret. But in a very short period of time, I went from a human being who would have desperately and eagerly traded skins with any other person on the planet to a person who stubbornly would not trade skins with anyone on the planet. Sure, there's people who got plenty of money. There's people who have whatever. But I can tell you that I am madly in love with life, with myself, and that I am 100% in the direct pursuit of my dreams and my absolute purpose. And it is an incredible feeling. Purpose truly is the cure for depression. I spoke about this in the last episode. And every day that passes, I become a bit obsessive over a few things, a few decisions that I could have made it differently that would have made all the difference. Or rather, a few decisions that I did make that did make all the difference, depending on your perspective. Staying inside your comfort zone is a death sentence. I was talking to a friend of mine earlier, my friend Jesse Lubner. He's down in Pittsburgh. And he's contemplating, starting his own business, chasing his dreams. And as the universe works, it would direct me to give him a phone call on this particular evening. And he's telling me his circumstances and saying, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to do. And I'm all but certain. No, I am certain of what he needs to do based on the information he provided with me, and also based on the information that I'm just aware of about the American economy and about the future to come. Call it a gut to intuition. Call me crazy if you want. But call me back in 2 years and see who's the crazy one. And it's funny how things work out. You know, it's not funny because there really are no coincidences. There really are no mistakes. What I've learned, and kind of, in the spirit of what started this all, I had a plan for what was supposed to happen here. I came here to execute that plan based on information that plan was executable in the timeline that I had provided. When I got here, I realized that plan was not executable in that timeline. What I could have done in that moment was to get upset, to try and force it to happen in that timeline, to just ride it out, or to go home. I chose to ride it out and be receptive to whatever else was coming. Because again, this is what I believe. I truly believe that when this happens, right, you set out a plan and you're dead set, this is what I'm going to do, this is when I'm going to do it, this is how I'm going to do it, and then you try to do it and boom, not possible. I don't believe that that's when you try and enforce your will on the universe. To me, that's the moment when you go, okay, what am I not seeing? What am I supposed to see? In my case, it was that I was supposed to soak in the inspiration that this island has to offer, which I did. And I have been a creative waterfall ever since. And the good people of Indonesia have been so receptive of that creativity that it has changed my life forever. Again. Seems to happen every time I come here. And you know what? I love it. Because every time it changes my life, I'm empowered with the ability to change other people's lives. And it's damn remarkable, because I found there is no greater reward. Money is no longer the motivating factor. And that's why I do not envy people who have 10 times more money than me. I don't give a damn about money. Money's no more significant to me than is a hammer, screwdriver, or saw. It is a means to an end. It is a resource to use to accomplish an objective, and the objective is what I care about. What's yours? Because I can tell you that my objective and my mission in this life is to use this short time that I have here to make this world a better place. And my method to doing that is by empowering and uplifting every human being that I come into contact with to the best of my ability and to the best of possibility given the situation. And I can tell you that finding that purpose and being true to it and being dedicated to it has eliminated my fear of financial loss. Because the moment I set sights on my purpose was the same moment that the finances started to figure themselves out. When I needed to do something and it was something that would leave a positive impact on this planet, the money found me. And it continues to do so. And so my advice to anybody looking forward right now is that don't make your goals about how much you want to make a year. Make your goals about what mark can you leave on the planet? What truly speaks to you, and what can you truly offer to make a damn difference? Because I promise you, the moment that your progress is aligned with your purpose, that's where the magic's going to happen for you. I don't care if you're 60. I don't care if you're 20. I don't care if you're 12. The moment that your progress lines up with your purpose, you will find a way and you will realize a life that people will envy. Life is an incredible thing, and it is beautiful. And when you live a life of purpose and daily you are working towards that purpose, and that purpose is a positive one, oh man, every day is a celebration. Every second is an opportunity. There is no such thing as work. There is only play. That's why one of the things I say to people is, my grand aspiration in life is to grow up to be a child. What I mean by that is that everything is play. Because I'm so madly in love with what I do. And I'm so madly in love with what I do because of what it does for other people. And the moment I made that conscious choice, the moment I made that shift, everything shifted for me. And I can tell you why I do this show is because I strongly believe that every human being should have the opportunity to feel how I feel every day, if not just for a moment. And so whatever I can do to empower any other human being on the planet towards that feeling, I'm going to do. And the moment I started doing that, the universe seemed to do the same for me. And that was not the case going forward. If you know me, you know my life has not been easy. Someone said to me earlier today that this is in regards to human design, okay? Now, if you're unfamiliar with human design is a fascinating science. I would describe it as the evolution of astrology. And it's largely based on the understanding of neutrinos, which are the smallest particles known to man, which come from the sun, pass through us, and human design studies their impact on us at the moment we're conceived. So if you take somebody's exact time, date, and location of birth, from that you should be able to generate their human design. And their human design, at least in my experience, is incredibly accurate towards their personalities and their choices and the choices they will make. Often even more accurate than a person's own understanding of themselves. Now, if you study my human design, I'm a manifest generator. And it means exactly what it sounds like. It means that I'm like an engine. And that when I'm confident about something, I can generate that manifestation and make it real. And the person who first taught me about human design, her name's Kali. She said to me earlier today that anything I start will succeed. And this was in response to conversation about her wanting to start her own business. And she indicated that based on her design, anything she starts without invitation will automatically fail. And that this would be impossible for me to understand because as a manifest generator, anything I start will ultimately succeed. And, this kind of gave me a chuckle. My response was, nope. Not everything. And I think she was shocked to realize that the secret to my success was not that everything succeeded, is that I took 10 more swings than anyone else. If I'm lucky, 1 out of 10 succeeds. I just try a whole lot more. That's the secret sauce. And I guess you could say from my design, I'm able to do that because I don't fear the failure. I see each failure as inevitable and as a step in the way on my road to success. I know I'm going to fail, and I look forward to failing because every time I fail, I learn something. And what I learn makes me a little bit more adept on the next attempt. And that's why eventually you succeed. Because after you've failed so many damn times, you've learned so much that what else are you going to do? That doesn't mean that after you fail enough times, you're going to succeed at everything. Hell no. Not unless you keep doing the same damn thing. But as long as you're trying new things, as long as you're on that path, failure's a part of it. And it's something to be embraced. I mentioned Jesse earlier when I was talking to him. He let out, he was like, it's amazing how you do it. It's like you're not afraid. And my response was, I'm terrified. I'm absolutely terrified. The difference is that I have come to identify that fear and discomfort is where the growth is. One of the things tattooed on my arm, I've said this before, is all good things are born of discomfort. It's one of my favorite phrases. And so when I'm afraid, when I identify something that terrifies me, that's where I'm headed. Because I know that's where the magic is. Yeah, I'm terrified. Right now, I'm in the other side of the world, as far away from home as I can go before I start coming back. I've got a wife, a daughter, 3 dogs, 3 businesses, 2 rentals, 2 ferrets, and 2 fish tanks. 3 fish tanks. It's a lot of crap. And that's obviously not everything. But it's a lot of crap. And I'm going broke over here as I try to fund this real estate project and start a new company over here. I am stretched to my max. I am damn uncomfortable. But I see something. I see something at the end of this road that is so attractive to me that I am willing to chase it until I friggin' collapse. No matter what it takes. Yeah. And I'll tell you this. When I get there, I'm going to look back and I ain't going to regret a single drop of sweat that I shed. Not one. I will appreciate and thank every drop of sweat that I shed. Everyone. Yeah. That's what it is to chase your dreams. Nothing good on this planet, nothing worth having will ever come to you easy. And the things worth having the most will come to you the hardest. That's the damn truth. Of all the things I've learned in this life, that's one of the truths. I have become so grateful for all the challenges in my life, all of the burdens, all of the failures, all of the blunders. I was telling my story to somebody I met in the grocery store. And I was on the dark part of the story, and they looked at me and they said, God, I'm so sorry. And I said, don't be, I'm not. Because if any one of those things hadn't happened, if you change any single thing on that journey, I would not be standing here today telling you the story that I have to tell. And so I am so damn grateful for every single bit of it. Every single bit. I am so damn grateful for every single bit. There's a clip on TikTok that's viral that, it's the long and short of it is the guy says, I used to get upset when things happen to me, and I would say, why me? And then one day I realized, why not me? Because I'm built for this. And that's exactly it, You learn to appreciate all of the tests that have come your way because all of the tests that have come your way have made you strong enough to withstand them and to take on greater tasks. And now I stand here feeling like a piece of iron because of all of the times I've been broken and got back up. Yeah, I'm grateful. I'm grateful, and I am dedicated to looking for those tests because now I know, however hard they may be, the reward for surviving them will be greater. Being a Bikram yoga instructor, it's the same thing. Joe Rogan had Kevin Hart on his show, and he was talking about hot yoga, about Bikram yoga. And, this is also known as 26 and 2. Bikram's a bit controversial, but that's what it is. 26 and 2, Bikram yoga, hot yoga. It's all the same. It's the same 26 exercises, 26 postures with 2 different breathing exercises, one in the front, one in the back. And what Joe Rogan said on his show was that, for 90 minutes, it's just me, a jug of water, and a bunch of grandmas kicking my ass. And he said it's the hardest thing he's ever done, and he said it changed his life. I would repeat all of those phrases. That has been my experience 100%, which is why I chose to go through and get certified. Because it's remarkable, really. It's an exact metaphor for everything I've been talking about in this episode. You go through hell for 90 minutes, and the moment it's over, and you're laying on your back in Savasana, and you just get it, and all of a sudden the reward settles in. And none of it matters what came before. You just feel so damn good. And that's why it's life-changing. But ultimately for me, that is the metaphor to living a life of empowerment and fulfillment. You are supposed to go through hell to get the things that you really, really want. But before you do that, you best be damn sure that you know what you really want. Because you don't want to go through hell for the wrong thing. And that is possible. Just because it's difficult doesn't mean it's right. That is also noteworthy. It's when it aligns with your purpose. And in order to do that, you have to clearly identify your purpose. Now, for a lot of people, this is difficult because that purpose that they might see might scare the ever-living shit out of them, and it might seem out of reach. That was the case with me. I always knew I wanted to be a motivational speaker, a motivator. I wanted to help lift people up. I wanted to be like Tony Robbins, But that's not a master's program. That's not a major that you can just take in college. And I never would tell this dream to anyone. But at some point in my life, they started telling it to me. And slowly but surely, I started to have the faith and the confidence to start going after what I saw was impossible. And the moment I made it not about money, and the moment I made it about how I could leave a positive impact on this planet, how I could uplift and strengthen other human beings, how I could help them find their power. That was the moment that everything started lining up for me. Now, lining up doesn't mean it got easy. It forced me into some of the most uncomfortable situations I've been in my life. But that caused me to grow more than I could have ever imagined in my life. So if I'm going to tell you anything, I'm going to close this episode out and just tell you that it's worth it. Why not throw up the Hail Mary? Why not chase your dreams? Because if you choose not to, you already failed at it anyway. So if you're willing to just accept the worst case scenario, think about it. Sounds a little silly when you say it out loud, doesn't it? But the truth is, if you don't try, you already failed. So take a shot. With that, I'm going to close on something I just recently wrote. It's called The Choices We Make. I thought that I was done. Thought I had nothing left. He hit me with the right, but then I hit him with the left. Everyone had me discounted. Now he's down and getting counted. And I stand with my hands raised, with my summit being mounted. Life changes in an instant. And then instantly we change. Suddenly we grow familiar with the things we thought were strange. Then all of a sudden we are playing a completely different game, and confidence is born from a parent known as shame. This is called being reborn. This is a person's evolution. When the reflection in the mirror appears without convolution, we are so magnificent, but they will tell us that we're not. Yet they can't deny the moment when we show them all we've got. So take that swing beyond the fences, because it might be your home run. You've got more power than you've ever dreamed. You truly are the one. You felt anxious, you felt fearful, but behind it there is courage. And when you find it, you'll find something that no one can discourage. This is your time. This is your chance. This moment is for you. You can give into your nightmares, or you can make your dreams come true. You can stay within your comfort, or you can take the chance to grow. But when it comes time to harvest, you can only reap that which you sow. The choices we make. Until next time, my friends, with endless love and gratitude, this is Chris Kushner. Namaste.